Saskia Tomkins is an award-winning multi-instrumentalist and composer, an in-demand strings teacher, and the mother of 3 children and grandmother of 2. We talk about touring with kids, sprinkling fairy dust, and making music in a group where the chemistry takes on a life of its own. Yay! Hi, Saskia. Thanks for being here today.
Hi, Shannon. It's lovely to see you.
It's so lovely to see you. We've done probably as much meeting online as in person some years, if not more, right?
Crazy. Yeah,
It is
since
crazy.
the pandemic. Yeah.
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 And you are truly, like, move over Beyonce. I think you are the busiest woman in the music industry. Yeah, and the best hair also. And I know you're like very in demand from other artists. Everybody wants to work with you, myself included. So at the risk of, using up more time than we even have allotted for this podcast, I just wanted to start by asking you, like, what are you working on right now? Who are you playing with? Like, what's going on?
Oh, so much. It's like I'm living my best life right now.
Yay.
I feel like it. Yeah, so I have my string quartet, Medusa Quartet, and we're releasing a new album next week. So where are we? We're in February. So this is
Right.
February, brand new, and it's called Weaving Gold in Broken Places. And I'm really excited about it because there's lots of pieces of music. There's 5 pieces that I've written on the album. So, and I think it's the first time that I've had quite as many pieces of music that I've written that people have really liked and wanted to work on. But Medusa have done their kind of weavy creative thing with them, and
Yep.
and they are their whole album is stunning. I'm almost breathless thinking that I listen to it and go, oh, that's me, in astonishment, because it's something that I really would listen to myself, and that doesn't always happen when you're recording. And then I had a gig last night with Stefan, my husband, Stefan Hannigan, or yesterday, and it's first time we haven't really gigged. We don't really gig much anymore. We used to do a lot, but we started an album in the pandemic, and we're finally almost finished it. So we've started gigging again as a duo, sort of Irish trad stuff, and that's just fun because so I'm still on a high from that gig.
Amazing.
And I've just started writing an album with a new album with Chris McCall from Sultans of String.
Yeah.
So Sultans absorbed me into their band this year after 5 years of being the person that they pull in, one of the people to pull in, because they pull lots of people in and play. And this year we had a photo shoot, and then suddenly I was all over everywhere, and I went, am I in the band now? And they went, oh yeah, didn't we ask you? Sorry. Yeah, you're in the band. Anyway, so the next album we are co-writing, which I'm really excited about. And when you co-write, it's a really, as you know, it's a really personal, intimate thing. And we get on really well. And I was really worried about it because it's so intimate.
Yeah.
But actually it's working really well. So that's happening. All of that.
Wow. Just all of that. No big deal. Co-writing with Chris. So you and Chris particularly, or is it the whole band that gets involved with co-writing?
So how we've started, we've just had a few dates so far, just me and Chris writing us. So I've taken some of my pieces and he's brought some of his, but also we've kind of jammed and taken what we've recorded it and gone, oh, I like that bit and I like that bit, and kind of built on that together. And then we are next week, I think the other 2 members of the band are coming in to join in and start doing all their fancy stuff, because when you're a string player, we're a melody based instrument, and I'm using the nickel harper a lot, which is also melody based. So you've got fiddle and nickel harper, and they speak the same language, whereas guitars and basses speak a related language, but it's different.
Right.
And it's a different way of thinking. So when we write using the melody, and then you have to build all the structure. It's like being an interior decorator. You organize the decoration first before building the house, and then you have to get the house builders in. And so that's kind of how it works, but somehow it works. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so I love that. Maybe not how people would think of it, but when you do yeah, when you think about music, and I obviously I'm a singer first, so I'm a melody-based thinker too, so
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, that makes sense to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. I
Yeah.
also wanna just say thank you, not to take us off of this topic, but to Medusa, all 4 of you, for giving me permission to use one of your songs as,
Oh,
like, the
yeah.
intro, outro of this podcast.
It's a
I was listening
pleasure.
to your previous album, and I had never heard this song yet, the Valse Efter Kristian Oskarsson, and I
Mm.
actually, like, got, like, emotional listening to it, and it was just, like, flooding into me, and I was like, I already thought I had a favorite one of your Medusa songs, and then I was like, "Oh, I don't know now," and then the more I listened to the album, I realized, no, I can't have a favorite. There's so much incredible stuff going on there. So thank you all. Please extend my thanks to all of the members of the quartet. Again, but it's really meaningful to me. It feels really special to get to have your music involved
Oh,
in this project of mine.
bless.
Oh, I'm so happy.
That's so beautiful. Thank you, Shannon. We're delighted that that it has such a visceral reaction.
It has
It's
every
yeah.
song. I'm like, oh, like for different reasons. So I was very very excited about you all saying yes to that.
The next one will take you down a more yeah. It's like next level.
Okay,
I don't know
I'm
if it's
so
down or up.
excited.
I'm not sure.
That's I'm even more excited if you don't know which direction it's gonna take us. I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm really happy with that. So you just mentioned also gigging with Stefan, which I'm glad you're back to. I can't imagine that
Mm.
either of you has time for that, but that made me think about Clan Hannigan, who I'm planning to come check
Oh.
out next weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, do you want to talk about Clan Hannigan?
Well, yeah. Oh gosh. Okay, I for those who don't know, I have 3 children. We have 3 children.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's both of us have created them. Um, and when we moved to Canada, when you're both musicians, your children are just naturally in the music, and it surrounds them. And when we moved to Canada, Oisin, my son, Oisin Hannigan, who's a great percussionist, and in fact, I'm now going to go sideways. We got him his first drum kit when he was 2 for his 2nd birthday because as soon as he could crawl, he was crawling across to the hand drums and hitting them,
Oh my
and
god.
I've got a photo of him when he was 3. He got given a drum by somebody at a it's a long story at a festival, and I had a charity gig, and he came along. He's 3. He was coming with me, and he said, I did my sound check, and they said, "Well, where's my microphone?" So they set him up with a microphone, and he played the whole gig with me, absolute spot on timing,
What?
like bang on. And at some point he said, "Can I sing a song?" So I said, "Yes." And he sang, it was a charity concert, but and he sang Twinkle Little Star or something, and it was this beautiful child's voice in tune in
Oh.
time, and but the drum, he was on it. So he's always been a drummer, and he always played with us. And we couldn't keep him off the stage. So it was like, well, you're part of the band now.
Yeah.
On the board, mostly on the bore on the Irish drum. And
Yeah.
then the girls, I should never clump them together. Um Ella has always been dancing since she was very small. It's funny, you see your children, you see what they're going to be almost when they're very little because there's no
Mm,
filters yet and they haven't been ruined by the world.
right.
Um, and she just wouldn't stop dancing. And I remember doing a gig with Stefan at a folk festival in England, and we realized at some point that the audience weren't looking at us anymore. They were looking to the side of the stage.
Yeah.
And there was this little 3.5-year-old, Ella, had come out and was doing Irish dancing
Ah.
that she'd copied from what she'd seen at the side of the stage. I was like, "Well, if
Oh.
you wanna come on, you may as well join us." And then Aisha followed on, being the youngest.
Oh
And
my
when we
gosh.
moved to Canada, we were going to do a a 3-week tour in Europe with,
Mhm.
another singer, and the singer got some health problems 2 days before the tour,
Oh.
and couldn't come. And we were panicking, and 8-year-old, then 8-year-old Ella, and 5-year-old Aisha came to us and said, "Don't worry, mummy. We know all the words and all the
No.
harmonies. We'll be your singers." And we were like,
Oh.
well, we had a rehearsal. Well, weren't they right? They
Oh.
knew everything. So they became our singers, and we became Clan Hannigan.
Oh my gosh, 5 and
And
8.
yeah, 5 and 8. And we did these huge festivals, Celtic festivals in Europe with like 5, 10,000 people. And there were these little dotes standing on stage
Oh.
singing traditional folk songs, mostly Irish, with harmony.
I mean,
Beautiful,
people must have gone
so beautiful.
crazy. People must
Oh,
have gone crazy.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that there's
yeah.
nothing people like more than talented kids, right?
No,
Like,
no.
yeah.
And
Oh.
we never forced them. We said if you commit to a gig, you have to do it.
Yeah,
But we never said you have to do this, because we didn't want to have hothouse flower children, which grow
right.
far high and then die quick. We
Right.
wanted
Oh,
we
I've
wanted
never
them to
heard
be
that
real
saying.
children. Oh yeah, hothouse flower children.
Okay, yeah.
Um, and um, yeah, so the gig on okay, so the gig on the Clan Hannigan gig is with Oshin is coming down from Montreal.
Oh,
He's now
yay.
27. I Ella will not be here because she's dealing with children in Muskoka.
Yeah,
Aisha may pop in for a couple of songs, and we've got
okay.
another friend we've taken on, adopted, coming up from Toronto to play with us. So
Lovely.
it's a Clan Hannigan light.
That's alright.
But
I'll
that's
take Glen
okay,
Hannigan
that's
light. I'll
okay.
take it, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you homeschooled your kids for a time. I don't exactly know the timeline. I didn't know you yet at that phase of
No.
life. Did that, overlap with touring and things? Was that part of the reasoning? How did that work? Just I'm curious about that whole process, homeschooling, music career, all the things together.
Yeah, so how homeschooling came about, I didn't know about homeschooling at all, I didn't know it was a thing.
Mhm,
And then, again, when we moved to Canada, the man who'd brought us over and was sorting out our work permits and all the legal stuff
mhm.
had a stroke and
Oh,
ended up in a coma for 3 months.
oh my god.
So we found ourselves, because the paperwork hadn't yet been finished, we found ourselves in Canada in this new cold, forsaken country with 3 small children, nowhere to live, no work permit, so we couldn't earn a living, no way of getting back. It
Oh my
was
god.
very traumatic. And I went to see if to sign them up with the local school, and they said, "Oh, that'll be $600 a month per child because you don't have a work permit." This is something that a lot of people don't know. It's
No.
probably a lot more now,
Yeah,
because they're all adults. And yeah, so well, I can't send them to school, so I'll have to keep them home. And
yeah,
then I discovered that homeschooling was a thing here, and
yeah.
there was this amazing community. Um, we went to the library, and they were saying, "Oh, what, you don't know about the local homeschooling community?" And we discovered this. It was like walking through the wardrobe into Narnia. This whole world explosion happened.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I'm so grateful because the homeschool community held our hands and
Yeah,
really, supported us.
yeah.
But it also meant that when we did gigs, I mean, we'd been taking the kids with us. We used to split the kids. If Stefan was going one gig and I was going to another gig, we'd
Mhm.
split the kids between us and they'd come with us. But here it meant that we could go on tour. We could drive halfway across the country and spend a week or whatever. And they were with us.
Okay.
And for me, I would rather, you have kids because you want to spend time with them, and you want to
Mhm,
get to know them, and grow them, and help them explore
mhm.
the world in a safe space. And I didn't want to hand them over to a babysitter or a
Mm.
or a childminder or anything.
Right.
I wanted to have my friends with me.
Oh,
So we became very, very close. Well, we
yeah.
still are very close.
You are, yeah.
Um, yeah, because of that.
Okay.
And, at some point when they were teenagers, they were complaining about, "Oh, we always had to come with you," and blah, blah, blah. And now as adults, they all go, "Oh, I now understand why. Thank
Yeah.
you."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So,
That's an interesting phase where they start to see from the adult point of view. Um,
yeah,
yeah. I'm glad that they're
yeah.
appreciative of it.
So am I. So, whew.
Yeah. They're not coming at you
Yeah.
with their therapy bills.
Oh, yeah. Not yet.
Yeah,
Still
exactly.
waiting.
That's later. So you were touring a lot then. It seems to me from an outside perspective, you're touring a lot now. You between the various groups you're working with, you're all over North America, you're in the UK, you're a lot of places right now, which is amazing. You're finally, to my opinion, you're finally getting like the level of recognition and the level of, I don't know, success that you deserve. Because folks, if you don't know Saskia, get online and listen to any of these groups that she's just talked about. You'll be floored. But
Thank you.
what's the difference? Of course. What is the difference? Or this is not the right way to ask it. Touring with kids and then now touring not touring. Your kids are grown, so you don't take
Freedom!
them. Yeah. Can you relate or like compare the two?
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So, I I almost shut it out of my mind with the trauma. No, I'm joking.
So much for I wanted my friends with me.
No, oh gosh. Okay, well, I suppose, I mean, the most obvious thing you don't have children with you is that it's just you've got to worry about. You don't have to
Hmm.
think about, you eat when you're hungry and you drink when you're dry sort of
Yeah.
thing. And you haven't got this whole extra management that's having to go on. Um, so my kids, I'm lucky. I had really overall. I mean, everyone thinks their kids are great, but my kids were really great in
Hmm.
terms of they learnt to be very self-sufficient, which may be a trauma response. I'm not sure, but but they learnt to uh yeah, be self-sufficient in the terms of if they weren't on stage with us or we had long waits and things, they we had I'm backtracking, I'm going blah, blah, blah.
Do it. Do it.
um we would, before we went away, we would always say, okay, we're going for so many days and you need to go and pack your things. So they all had their own suitcase. We had animal suitcases. Each one
Aw.
had their own. And they would put in I mean, I'd get their clothes together or whatever, but they would pack stuff that if they wanted to take books or dolls or coloring things, that's what their suitcase was for. So they got autonomy in choosing what to take with them.
Okay.
And Oshin particularly was an avid book reader, and Ella and Aisha, it was all about the dolls, and they took paper and they'd make their own
Oh,
doll houses, and I mean, it was crazy, the
wow.
creativity that came out. And we did have screens as well,
Hmm.
but the screens were not um didn't we didn't hand them out like candy, but they were really good at monitoring because they were very good at they wanted to be do things rather than do that
Yeah.
all the time. I mean, it's different times now. Um, but what was it? Yeah. So I mean, when is trying to make sure that everybody got food, and they got very good at sleeping in the car.
Yeah.
Uh, um, and sometimes, with we got a what we learned is that we got a big van so that everybody could have their own space, because we learned that when they were all squished together in the back seat, it was just nonstop arguments
Oh gosh.
and
Yeah.
chaos, and I was like, I'm going to scream for everybody's sanity. We need a bigger van.
Yeah.
So we got the mum van thing,
Yeah.
and they all had their own space, and that sorted out all of that, so then they could get along because they could talk to each other if they wanted or not.
Or not.
So
Yeah.
that was the traveling is the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I gotta say it's a lot less stressful
Yes.
without, but I'm really glad that I took them, and I'm really grateful that they yeah. that they were up for coming as well.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. There's a lot of parts of having younger kids that I look back on and think, like, it was very hard, but I'm really glad I did that. I'm glad
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't like you said, I wouldn't have had it any other way where I just went off by myself and I left them behind. I don't tour, and a lot of it is I probably should say entirely because of my kids. We didn't start off with when we had kids with me being a gigging musician, so it wasn't like the way we built our lives. And then once I started to
Mm.
sort of enter that world, I didn't want to go away and leave my family here. My family's rooted here. My kids are in a conventional school, and they don't want to be on the road with me. So I also don't want to be on the road at this stage in their lives for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time or anything like that, and then miss them. I would miss them intensely. So I get that. And if I had been doing the gigging before having kids as you were, I think I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, well, here we go. We're all hopping in the van and trying not to kill each other.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't it is a really interesting dichotomy because, society says that your kids need stability,
Mhm.
and, and by that, often it means they need to eat at this time and they need bedtime at this time, and that is their stability. I turn that, being as I'm a neurospicy person and so are my kids,
Yeah.
um, it I'm not a regular, putting that kind of planning into my day is
Right.
really difficult. So for me and for the kids, the stability was that we were together all the time.
Mhm.
And that was where the stability, I figured out that, sort of people, I mean, in my background, in my ancestry, we've got travelers and
Okay.
they weren't at home. I'm never
Right.
happy unless, I mean, I'm really, it's like my happy place is on the road, right? And
Really?
I know that it's a DNA thing. Yeah, I love
Okay.
it. I love it so much. And so I figure that if you're a traveler and you have your family with you,
Mhm.
that's the stability. The core of the family is the stability, not the 8 o'clock bedtime and you eat at 5 or whatever it is. And that's, yeah. And it seemed to work. And also, when you have children, I've got so many friends who were musicians before they had children, and then they got stuck into this dogma of having to, oh, I have to be a parent and I have to make it, blah, blah, blah. And
Mhm.
then they stopped being a musician, and I saw them die inside
Mhm.
because they weren't doing their soul's joy, if you
Yeah.
like. And I didn't want that to happen. I was so determined that that wouldn't happen. And yeah, it was tough, but but at the same time that, the highs, the if the brighter the light, the darker the shadows, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's so true. I've experienced that myself in smaller I've never gotten to the place where I've let myself get completely lost, but, there's certain times of parenting where it's so intense and so hands-on, young kids, for example, or when kids go through crises or whatever, where you kinda have to do that, and I felt that too, where I'm like, "Oh, I think right now I need to sing. I need to go sing. I need to find a choir. I need something to, like, light me back up again." Yeah, and I think it's like it really, to me, can be a trap for moms particularly. I don't mean to stereotype, but I just think that it's
No,
true that often
it's
it's
true.
moms who feel that pressure. It's not like the dads aren't out there also putting in, a lot of great parenting, but, like, there's not, in my experience anyway, the same expectation that dads would stop what they were doing. Like, that doesn't seem to
Mm,
be an expectation where I think a lot of moms feel I don't know who the pressure is coming from. I'm not blaming the dads for this. There's some sort of vibe that moms are supposed to prioritize their kids and push their own crap aside in a way that I
mhm,
don't really see dads getting told to do that. And I
mm-mm.
wish moms weren't told to do that because I'm with you. I don't think it helps anybody at all. And I think our
No,
kids, I mean, as a mom of a girl too, and you obviously have your two girls, it feels really important to me for my daughter to see that she shouldn't expect to do that. She shouldn't be thinking, oh,
yeah,
once I get married and have kids, I'm supposed to just take care of my family and that should be my whole happiness in life.
no, that should have gone out 100 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's true. And also it's good for them. It's good for kids to see. their parents, and including their mum,
Yeah.
doing being themselves,
Yeah.
and see them be successful in whatever it is. I think that creates good adults, healthy adults.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. I think so. I
yeah,
agree with you there.
yeah.
So, speaking of what you do and the magic that is Saskia as a musician, and what your kids get to witness, what any of us that get to play with you get to witness. I wanted to talk about it a little because okay, I'm putting it in my own words and you might feel differently about it. By all means, tell me if I've got it wrong, but lots of people talk about you kind of like sprinkling your magic on things when you play.
Fairy
And
dust. Yeah, I get told that
yeah,
all the time.
and to me, like when I think about what you do from the outside looking in, for me, it's like you've got years of training, you're incredibly skilled on a whole variety of stringed bowed instruments, and then you kind of just like set yourself loose. And it feels like when I'm on stage with you, and you just sort of like you're really carefully listening, but then you're just sort of like never the same solo twice shall pass these ears, you know? And I just think it's
Yeah.
for me it feels like magic because I don't make music like that. I wasn't trained like that, or it's not how my brain works. And also it is magic because it's always like it's never a flop. It's always like, ooh,
Well,
ooh.
I
Okay,
might
well,
disagree with that, but yeah. Yeah.
okay. So if it's a flop, sometimes you can go ahead and say that. But I'm curious if you can describe like what what you are feeling, thinking, how that your on stage music making like feels for you as somebody who creates in that way. Is it
Hmm.
possible to describe that?
Yeah, I can try. Okay, so yeah, I've got all the training, which I'm gonna have to think about this one. Well, it's not me when I'm on stage, or when I'm playing, when I'm improvising, because it
Mhm.
mostly, I mean, you know me as an improviser, because that's
Mhm.
what I do with you, and no
Yeah.
solo is the same. No, and the accompaniment is kind of similar, but it's kind of vibey. I vibe, but it's really weird. This kind of I have an ability, and I'm not sure why, and it's magic to me as well, is
Okay.
that I kind of zone in to whoever it is I'm playing with, and then things happen. It's not me. It's like I'm a conduit
Oh,
for something. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's like I plug in, and then all this stuff comes through, or something. That's what happens.
Oh,
And I
so cool.
have, the years of practicing and learning, and technical stuff means that I don't have to think about that. So a
Yep,
lot of
the
people
right
say
notes
that
come out.
yeah, the right, well, most of the time. The instrument, a lot of people, like somebody yesterday at the gig said, "Oh, it's as if the violin is part of you. You're not separate things." And the instrument, it just becomes part of my whatever it is I have.
Mhm.
It's really hard to describe. It's
Okay.
so difficult to put into words, but I am a conduit for stuff that's coming through. I almost feel like it's like I turn on the tap, and then the water comes out.
Oh,
That's what it feels like. Yeah. Yeah,
that's
I'm a
really
tap.
I
Yeah.
love Saskia, describe your music making. Well, I'm a tap. That's all.
That's all, and it
Um,
happens, and then you wash your hands in it. I mean, it's easy,
uh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously you're
It's
describing, when you collaborate with somebody like me, I'm assuming that's not the same way it works with Medusa, and maybe not with Sultans.
um interesting, because certain yeah, so when I'm working with you, you have your songs, and you have the chord structure, and you have you have it's set up in a certain way,
Yeah.
and that's how it is, and then I get to, as you say, sprinkle fairy dust all over it.
Yeah.
um uh because the structure is already there. When
Mhm.
I'm working with Medusa, for instance,
Mhm.
somebody brings a melody, and then we sit around for hours, days,
Yeah.
sometimes working on that and working out. Somebody will come in and say, oh, well, what happens if we go this way? What happens if it's a bit like going for a walk in the wood and you've got multiple, you
Mhm.
walk into it's the wood, but you've
Right.
got multiple pathways. Shall we go
Okay.
left or right, or should we take that little one over there? And with Medusa, we will wander down those different paths,
Okay.
and we don't know necessarily what's there, and then sometimes you go, this one doesn't work, let's go back and try again, try
Okay.
one of the others. Is that too esoteric?
No, I get that. So, I mean, I think I get it. I'm following your metaphor anyway. So,
Yeah.
I'm does that sort of mean that the process of the conduit process is happening in the creation of the piece, like in
Y-
the writing of it with the group, sort of? Because once you get on stage with it,
yes.
you guys are playing something that you've more or less set, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Okay.
sure. But within that, there will be the improvisation.
Yes.
Within the So we've set it again. We've set it up so that then I can come in and sprinkle. Well, we all sprinkle fairy
Yeah,
dust.
you all
So
do.
is it?
It's
Yeah,
true.
but it's interesting because we all have very different sensibilities when it comes to music. So, for instance, Leah is very good at the structure and the chord. These chords need to happen here,
Mhm.
and she has a really amazing understanding of of house building, how
Right.
it's built, whereas I don't have so much of that, but I'm really good at putting flags up and pictures on the walls.
Right.
And Georgia, I'm trying to think. Marta on the knee fiddles is more
Mhm.
like myself.
Okay.
We're definitely the ones that wander through the woods and pick flowers, whereas the other two are much more solid in that. Well, yeah, but we've got to do it like this because
Okay.
otherwise we'll all float off into the ether and it's not going to work.
Right.
Whereas myself and Marta will float off into the ether quite happily and
Right.
leave everyone
But
behind.
Leah and Georgia have the cords holding you tethered
Yeah,
to
yeah.
their location.
You have to have a
Wow.
bit of both,
You
right? Because otherwise
do.
I'll float off into the ether and you'll never see me again, right? That's not helpful to anybody.
You do.
Yeah.
There's such an incredible we've talked about this, but the chemistry of a group is where like you can take, because Medusa's four incredible players, the four of you
Mm,
together is something larger than the sum of your parts. Like
for sure.
something happens that is like whoa, like
Yeah,
extra beyond just four incredible players sitting playing together. There's a chemistry there, and what you're just describing now maybe is one piece of that chemistry puzzle.
totally, totally.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
We talk about it on gigs. We say, because we're called Medusa, right?
Yeah.
And we talk about it where at some point Medusa arrives. And
Yeah.
it's like the fifth element. You know that movie, The Fifth Element, where
Yes.
they had to have the four things and then the fifth, woo, and that's what happens on stage. It's mind blowing. And we all know when it happens, and the audience know when it happens, because
Hmm.
it's like we go into I suppose it's a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
We go into a much deeper. Is it deeper? Is more a thicker part of existence or something.
Wow.
It yeah, it's quite wonderful.
It is quite wonderful. Having seen it live a handful of times, it's every time I've seen Medusa play, anybody else I talk to for the next week, I'm like, "You have to see Medusa. You have to see it." Because it
Bless.
is really something special, like beyond the average music listening experience for sure.
And it's interesting because it's not just. I mean, it happens with us, but the audiences pick it up and respond. And we've had people crying at concerts, and to create a situation, the right, I don't know, the right temperature or the right weather
Mhm.
for to allow audience members to open up and feel like they're safe enough to
Yeah.
do what society tells us we're not supposed to do
Yeah.
is a real, well, it's a real honor and a gift, but
Mhm.
it's almost overwhelming. It's quite special. and quite
It is quite
crazy.
special. It
Yeah.
is quite special. So
And
I'm gonna I'm gonna take us a little bit full circle here, wrap us back up to you. Can you tell us again, by the time this airs, the album will be out, so tell us again the name of Medusa's new album, and if you think yours and Stefan's album will be out too, any things that we should
yeah,
know about, that
okay.
we should be going to find, please.
So yeah, so Medusa Quartet, Weaving Gold in Broken Places is the
Mhm.
name of the album, and we've written it. It's based on do you know kintsugi, which is um the Japanese art of when you break a piece of pottery and you stick it together with gold.
Mhm.
And they say it's stronger than it was originally.
Yeah, it's such a
So
beautiful, beautiful image to have grabbed from. I like that.
it's from a poem. I can't remember the
Okay.
poet's name, a woman poet.
Okay.
And most of the album is by women composers, or it's about female content. So,
Beautiful.
and then myself and Stefan, ours should be out by then. It should be out by the end of March, maybe
Okay.
before then. And it's called Splendid Isolation,
Oh.
which is name. We started recording it in the pandemic, but it's actually the name of a tune.
Oh,
Which has a story to it. So
beautiful.
yeah. So Stefan and Saskia.
Okay.
And then oh yeah, the Sultans one won't be out and probably until the end of the year. So
Okay.
I've no idea. But Sultans a
Okay.
string.
All right.
But I'm playing
Well,
all over Chris's children's album. All the
oh,
strings are me, which is great, and it's just been nominated for Juno Awards. So and that and that's
congratulations.
called Little Leaf, and it's a really, really beautiful album. That's
Okay.
a heart album as well. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, beautiful.
So there
Well,
you go.
and people can find you on the socials in general, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Saskia Tomkins with no P,
No P,
and
no H.
yeah, and Medusa Quartet, Stefan and Saskia, Sultans of Strings. All these things are findable online. And
Yeah.
Saskia also has a website, saskiatomkins.com, where a bunch of these things are linked. And I will put these things in writing in the show notes too, so that if you don't know how to spell it, you can go find it there and click on the links, and you'll be taken
Yes.
into Saskia's world.
And if I
Oh,
remember to tell you where I'm gigging,
yeah, yeah.
good luck.
Yeah, you
I'll
can
see you
actually
there. Come
come
say
meet
hi.
Saskia in person and hear the magic live. Well, thank you,
Yeah.
Saskia. This has been a pleasure. It's always so much fun to talk to you, but I'm really excited. We talked about a bunch of things today we don't often talk about, actually. So it
No,
was a fun
no.
new chat. Thank
New
you.
chat. Thank you. Thank you for asking me, Shannon.